Your 20s are such a weird time because you meet so many people that are doing so many different things. Whether you're back in Ireland and your friends are all immigrating to Australia, or there's some of them that are buying houses, or there's some of them that are going back and do their masters. I got these New Balance runners. My life hack for shoes is that I can get them in the kids section. I have like a size 4 UK feet. So these are actually only $80 in the junior section of JD Sports. They're on sale for Christmas. I actually really like them. Let me show you properly. And like 80 Australian dollars is like 50 euro. So that's a really good price, I think. Or you're over here in Australia and there's some friends that are applying for their PR, like their permanent residency, or they're applying for their citizenship. JB must have been really tired this morning because he filled this up in a sink. I forgot to put it in the fridge. Or they're moving back home to be married. Like, there's so many different possibilities of what you can do in your 20s. And I always see online people saying like, don't compare, like just because you see someone who's like doing better than you, like don't compare yourself to them. But what we never really see is like the thing saying like if someone's not doing as well as you shouldn't compare yourself to them either. And I think that that's even more important. I feel like, yeah, I could look at one of my best friends who might be like engaged and has a house and X, Y, and Z, and I could compare myself, and like they're moving up the corporate ladder, and I could compare myself to them, but like society would be like, don't do it, don't compare yourself. But if I then looked at someone else and they weren't doing as well as me, and I was like, oh well, at least I'm doing better than them. Sometimes you feel like you're getting nearly a pat on the back for that, like, oh well, at least, no, I feel like we shouldn't compare at either end of the spectrum. Essence mascara. I'm using a Penny's Primark eyebrow brush pencil. These have to be on me every day until my eyebrows get done. They need to be done. Your 20s are such a weird time because like I feel like it is all about figuring out what you want and who you are. And I talked about this in my last video, but I definitely changed a lot in my 20s. But it's funny because what I want is the same thing I've wanted since I was 20 years old. I'm going to be 28 this year. And as much as I have evolved and I've become a better person and I've become more emotionally intelligent and I've been able to calm some of my anger issues and I've dealt with things in therapy. Can I get a large cappuccino please whenever you're ready? And even though I've done all those things, it's funny to me because despite all the big changes that I've made in my life and despite moving to the other side of the world, I realise I still want the same thing I wanted as a 20-year-old, and that is a house, marriage and kids. And it's really funny, and a lot of people aren't going to relate to that at all. I feel like a lot of people these days don't really want kids, or they don't want to settle down, and like Jesus, like I can understand why. But yeah, it's funny because like as a 20-year-old, I remember people used to ask me like, what's your 5-year plan? And I genuinely wanted to tell people my 5-year plan was to like buy a house, have kids, have a dog, have a husband. But like back then people kind of looked at me like I had two heads. Because like in your 20s, the society pressure in your 20s is usually like to go to college and travel the world and chase an education and find a good career and move up in that career and grind and all that kind of stuff, and like date and go on wild dates. But like my entire 20s I've just been with Jamie, and I dropped out of college when I was 20 as well. Like that was just, you know what I mean? So like my goals were just completely different to all that. So I remember being like, oh my god, like there's so much pressure for me to like find it, like to advance my education and all that kind of stuff. But all I really wanted to do when people asked me was, what's your goal? This was just to say, I just want to have 2 or 3 little kids, I want to have like a dog, and I want to have like a house in the country, and I want to get married. But anyways, I'm in my late 20s now, so I feel like it's definitely socially acceptable to say those wants and needs now. Like I feel like maybe they're a bit more realistic now. Hey, future Keely here, and I'm editing this video and I realise that this all sounds like subtle foreshadowing. So I'm going to make it clear, I am not about to announce a pregnancy, marriage, proposal or mortgage anytime soon, okay? I'm just excited that like I'm closer now to that stage of my life, whenever that may be, than I was when I was 20. I still have another year left to my visa in Oz, and I still have birth control bar inserted in my arm. Just want to make that clear in case anyone is like, she's about to announce. I'm not, you guys. Okay, I just like to ramble, so let's get back to my rambling. So yeah, your 20s are fucking weird. But yeah, it took me moving all the way to Australia to realise that like, I am a home bird. I never really thought I was a home bird before. I think it's because I moved out of home when I was 18. So I moved out of my house to go to college, and I didn't go home on the weekends. And I also just, when that lease ended, I just got a summer rental, and then I went into another student housing year, and then I just did another summer rental, and it continued like that for a while until I moved in with Jamie. So I never considered myself to be a home bird because I moved out of home when I was 18. Like, I've always been on holidays, and I've traveled to a lot of different places, and I'd always be staying at my friend's house. I never really felt like I was someone who had to be like in my home bed to feel safe and secure, so therefore I didn't really think I was a home bird. But moving over here and traveling for the past 2 years and trying out all these different jobs kind of made me realize that I couldn't live anywhere else in the world besides Ireland. I couldn't live there permanently anyway. I couldn't imagine buying a house over here, and as much as I kill my family, I couldn't imagine not living within an hour drive of my mum, or like my siblings and my cousins and my aunt and my nana. Like, I couldn't imagine not living permanently, like living this far away from them. And I couldn't imagine having a kid here and sending them to like an Aussie school, and like even if they were so cute and they're like surfing and they were getting a cool tan, I couldn't imagine them not like outside in the field playing a bit of GAA, or like knocking about on like a go-kart and like in the Irish fucking winter weather. Like, I couldn't imagine not bringing my teenage daughter down to Centra or Spar for like a chicken fillet roll when she's hungover after a night out. Like, I couldn't imagine any of those things not happening. I couldn't imagine a life fully here. So I realized I am a bit of a home bird. And I'm kind of happy in a way that even though when I was like genuinely 20 years old, I did want all those things. I wanted to be married and have a house and have kids. I'm really happy that I was pushed out of my comfort zone to go travel a little bit, because I think it's made me more sure of myself. And a lot of people travel because they don't want to have regrets, and I think I actually nearly would have looked back and maybe regretted not traveling. And maybe if I did rush into all those things, like all those like grown-up things, I might have been like, oh, I would have been like if I moved. And I'm happy to say that I have moved now to the other side of the world, and all I've done is realise that I still want the same things I wanted when I was 20. I'm a little bit more sane now. I'm not as crazy anymore. Mentally, I'm a lot more stable than what I was when I was 20. So yeah, like now that I'm like in my late 20s, I feel like it's so socially acceptable to say my 5-year plan is to have a marriage, house and kids. So yeah, basically I have my 2025 mood board there and I'm looking at it, and these are my goals for 2025. I want to be able to run a 5k. It says my skin is clear and glowing. It's on my mood board. I'm trying with the skin, you guys. I'm trying my best here. I want to read like 40 books. I want to go to a few festivals, but the main thing I want to do is save money. Me and Jamie have about a year left on this visa, and I want to save a good bit of money because I know the housing situation in Ireland is fucking impossible at the moment, but I want to go home with as much money so I can set myself up for as much success as I can, so that when we go home we can like look into buying a house and stuff. So that's like my goals for this year, like save money, run a 5k and read a book. But yeah, moving to the other side of the world has definitely made me realise, Keely McGrath, you are definitely a bit of a home bird, and it's cringy. Like, I did not think that was me. And a lot of people figure that shit out about themselves when they do go traveling. They either figure out that they're a complete home bird and they go home, or they realise that, oh my god, they can thrive over here and they have a great time. It just really depends on the person. What I will say to anyone who is thinking of moving over here to Australia, it's definitely hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I've ever lied and said that this is a really easy journey over here. It's not. There's a lot of soul searching, there's a lot of figuring things out, there's a lot of days where you will not stop crying, and then there's days where you won't stop laughing. There are days when you miss your family so much, and then there's days where they don't really cross your mind. There's a lot of ups and downs over here, and one thing I'll always say is if you don't really like one place over here, try somewhere else. But I wouldn't recommend to anyone to move all the way over to the other side of the world just because your friends were doing it. If it's not calling you, don't do it. Australia wasn't necessarily calling me, but I knew that me and Jamie would want to do a little bit of traveling before we did start settling down a little bit. So I felt like it was a nice little bumper in between, like, because we were living together in Ireland for 4 years, and I feel like once you're at home, it kind of gets to that stage in a relationship where you're like, And I've seen it now with people back home, like they're all engaged, everyone's after getting a wedding proposal and everyone's buying a house and everyone's having babies, and I'm so fucking happy for them, because that would have actually been me. But I knew that that was where we were going, so we decided to travel Australia, and I've had such a good time. But now I've realised that all those things I thought I wanted in my 20s, which I thought maybe moving over here would make me forget or put in the back burner for a while, nah, I still do want those things, and I'm happy that I've came to that decision. I'm happy that that's what I want. And I know a lot of people watching this are going to be like, what the fuck, like I don't even think about those things. That's cool too. You actually don't have to, because that's the thing about being in your 20s, everyone wants completely different things. I have got friends that absolutely never want children in their life ever. I've got friends that have got like 2 master's degrees, and then they're getting promotion after promotion after promotion in their jobs. I've got other friends that own their own businesses. I've got friends that are going back to school or like going to college for the first time. I've got friends that are over here with me. I have got friends doing a million different things. In comparison, it's the thief of joy. You should never compare yourself to people. But you know what you can do? You can just do what you want to do. Because you can be the friend that someone says, like someone could be talking about you. So even I'm talking now being like, oh my god, I've got a friend who has 2 degrees and they're doing this, that and the other. You could be the friend that they're talking about in a positive way. You could be like, oh, I've got a friend there that has a house and she already has a baby, like oh my god. So even though some people think that they are doing something at the wrong time frame, you're someone else's example of an achievement. Someone else is looking at you, and even though you don't think you're achieving what you want to achieve, someone else is looking at you as an example to what they want to achieve. And that's something I've realized so fucking much. Like, even if I'm over here and I think I could be thinking that I'm wasting my fucking time over here, like I should be at home buying a house. Someone else might be like, look at her, she's traveling in Australia, you know what I mean? So like, you're someone else's example of what they should be achieving. Like, just know that like the journey that you're on is the journey for you, and someone else could genuinely just be looking at you right now and they could be so envious and so jealous of the things that you're doing, and you're not even appreciating them. So yeah, 20s is a weird time, but I've definitely learned to appreciate things a little bit more in my 20s. I'm in my late 20s now. I think I'm allowed to say it. I can't wait to be a mum someday. I can't wait to have a house in Ireland in the cold winters and light a big fire. I'm going to buy an old house as well, so I'll have that fireplace, don't you worry. And do up the renovations in the house, and like have a little dog, and I'll get fucking married someday. Like, I can't wait for that. This juice is so nice. It's from Woolies. It's in Coles as well. It's plant-based life in pressed, cold pressed. It has pineapple, lime, apple, lemon, cucumber. But yeah, I didn't really know what video to be putting on YouTube today, and I was like, I kept looking at my mood board, my vision board for 2020, and I was just like, 2025, sorry, and I was just like, yup, let's just talk about my little goals today. Let's just talk about being in your 20s. Let's just talk. Let's just talk. I don't know, what do you guys think? You guys let me know. Like, I just love having a little bit of a waffle. I feel like very philosophical or something. I don't know, you tell me. Maybe in my 20s, maybe in my late 20s I can finally start quitting vaping. Maybe we'll start that. Probably not. But yeah, it's fun. Life is fun, you guys. It doesn't have to be so fucking serious. It doesn't have to be so serious. We can just do, we have free will. And I love watching those like, I love watching other people, I love watching other vlogs and seeing other people living their lives. I'm just so nosy. I promise in the next vlog I won't just be sitting on this bed yapping. I'll try to get out of the house. I was going to get out of the house today, guys. I really was, but I did a 12-hour shift yesterday and I'm a bit tired. So I just kind of wanted to have a little bit of a lazy day. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I will get out of the house for the next vlog. Kind of wanted to have a little bit of a yap about life. Okay, if you've got any questions, let me know. Bye, love you. Packed spinach. Yeah, I don't usually use this much. Yeah. Is it done? Yeah? What? No. Man, spinach just disintegrates into nothing. You just have a bag there, it looks like nothing.
spoon.
Fork, please.